एक सेकंड म्यूट करना अगर मुझे चेक रिकॉर्डिंग चेक कर लें हमारी ठीक बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम दिस इज गोइंग टू बी आवर 14th सेशन आई गेस now we have to start the most important part of the demand and supply, that is elasticity of demand. Then we will proceed to elasticity of supply. The first of all, we have to clear the concept of elasticity of demand. In fact, law of demand states what? Just simple demand function. That is what? That is, quantity demand is a function of price, and there exists an inverse relationship between price and quantity demand. But the thing which is missing right now, the most integral part that is missing here, that if price change by increases or decreases by 1%, then what would be the response of demand, or by what percent the change in demand would be? कि अगर प्राइस में इंक्रीज और डिक्रीज बाय 1% होती है तो क्वांटिटी डिमांड में जो चेंज आएगा वो कितने परसेंट से आएगा? सो इन दोनों के जो रेशियो है दैट इज कॉल्ड इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ डिमांड. मीन्स इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ डिमांड इज व्हाट? The ratio between percentage change in quantity demand and the percentage change in price. Elasticity of demand is the ratio between percentage change in quantity demand and the percentage change in price. और अगर इन दोनों की रेशियो से ही elasticity of demand है तो there may be three options clearly. Either the quantity demand can respond more than change in price, or change in quantity demand can be equal to the percentage change in price, and the option is the quantity demand change is less than percentage change in price. There are three possibilities. There are three options. Either percentage change in quantity demand is more than percentage change in price, or equal or less. इकोनॉमिक्स में इन रेशियोज को डिफरेंट नेम्स दिए जाते हैं। relatively elastic, or unit elastic, or relatively inelastic. Relatively elastic, unit elastic, and relatively inelastic. There are three possibilities. बस आपने ये याद रखना है, if the percentage change in demand is more than percentage change in price, then relatively elastic. If both changes are equal, then unit elastic. If the change in quantity demand is less than change in price, then it would be known as relatively inelastic. Now, if we have some values like relatively elastic में the E would be equal to, the E absolute would be more than 1. Inelastic में it would be less than 1, and in unit elastic it would be equal to 1. और अगर हमारे पास दो ऑप्शंस और हैं, दो इलास्टिसिटी और हैं, एक है perfectly elastic and perfectly inelastic. Perfectly elastic and perfectly inelastic. इसमें infinity, elasticity neither more than 1 nor less than 1 not equal to 1, just 0, so it is known as perfectly inelastic. And if there is a perfect change, this is perfectly elastic. So you have to keep in your mind that there are three possibilities of elasticities perfectly. These are known as degrees of elasticities. Degrees of elasticity. Either relatively elastic or relatively inelastic or perfectly elastic, a perfectly inelastic or unit elastic. So how these elasticities will be, used in a real life and how we can explain and elaborate all these kind of elasticities. So what is in fact the behind the scene on the basis we are declaring relative elastic, inelastic and inelastic, etc. So we have to proceed with elasticity of demand and its kinds. Elasticity of demand. Kinds basically three. One is price elasticity of demand, where the percentage change in quantity demand of a product is due to typically percentage change in price of its own. If the percentage change in demand occurs due to its own price, it is called price elasticity of demand. On the other hand, if this change is due to income of the consumer, if quantity demand, the percentage change in quantity demand is due to the percentage change in price, then price elasticity demand. If this is due to income, so it is income elasticity of demand. For example, price decreases from 10 to 5 and quantity demand increases from 30 to 40. और वो कहता है कि calculate the price elasticity of demand. Calculate price elasticity of demand by using this data. अब obviously हमारे पास data तो given है. इस के मुताबिक हमारे पास फॉर्मूला है इलास्टिसिटी कैलकुलेट करने का. अगर वो कहता है कि कैलकुलेट द इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ डिमांड, सो वी कैन इजीली Q2 minus Q1 over Q2 plus Q1 average divided by P2 minus P1 over P2 plus P1 average. अब हमारे पास जो डाटा है इसकी हम वैल्यूज फाइंड करते हैं. इट इज P1, फर्स्ट वन इज P1, P2, देन सेकेंड वन, देन Q1 एंड Q2. अब इनकी हम अगर इसको इंकॉर्पोरेट करेंगे तो Q2 इज व्हाट 40 minus 30 over 40 plus 30 divided by 2 and then 5 minus 10 divided by 5 plus 10 2. Now the E is what 10 over 40 plus 30 70 into 35. Here minus 5 divided by 10 plus 5 15 over 2 7.5. Now we can use calculator. Like 10 over 35 is 0.28 and divided by 5 divided by 7.5 is 0.66 and 0.28 divided by 0.66, it is 0 minus 0.42. अब इसको जरा अपने माइंड में रखना. जो सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज यहाँ पे है, ये माइनस को माइंड में रखना हमने सबसे ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है. अगर हम न्यू शीट यूज करते हैं इसके लिए हम लोग आंसर इज व्हाट E is 0.42 is minus 0.42. सबसे पहले तो ये ध्यान में रखें कि ये जो E माइनस है ये नेगेटिव साइन क्या है. ये नेगेटिव साइन आपको याद होगा इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ डिमांड में, और बल्कि डिमांड में अगर हमने बिल्कुल स्टार्ट किया था यहाँ पे, ये अगर आप देखें आपको याद हो ये नेगेटिव साइन था. ये नेगेटिव साइन इनफैक्ट है क्या, ये इनवर्स रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन प्राइस एंड क्वांटिटी है. क्वांटिटी डिमांड और प्राइस में जो इनवर्स रिलेशनशिप होता है उसकी वजह से ये नेगेटिव साइन है. तो ये नेगेटिव साइन एग्जैक्ट वही है, यानी कि ये नेगेटिव साइन और कुछ नहीं है सिवाय उस नेगेटिव और इनवर्स रिलेशनशिप के जो कि लॉ ऑफ डिमांड में एग्जिस्ट करता है. दिस इज इनवर्स रिलेशनशिप. अगर इससे हमने 1 से कंपेयर करना है देन वी हैव टेक सम एब्सोल्यूट वैल्यू. एब्सोल्यूट वैल्यू P is what 0.42 and it is what in fact less than 1. डिग्रीज ऑफ इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ डिमांड में हमने देखा था If it is absolute value is, sorry, not this is not, this one. If absolute value is less than 1, it is relatively inelastic. So that means it is what? As less than 1 absolute value. So this is known as relatively inelastic. It means the percentage change in quantity demand is in fact less than percentage change in percentage change in price. Demand is, responding with less magnitude. Okay? Is it clear? राइट एक छोटी सी हम कैलकुलेशन और करके देख लेते हैं. If point elasticity हो, so small changes, very small changes between elasticity and demand and price, like price is rupees 10 to 10.2 and quantity is 5 to 4.5. These are showing very small changes. For that purpose, you can use point formula. That is delta QD over price. Delta QD is or delta price. So we can have very simple, very format that this is P, this is Q, and delta P and delta Q. Delta is P is P2 minus P1, Q2 minus Q1. Okay, delta QD and delta Q mean 4.5 divided minus 5 and 10 minus 10.2 minus 10 multiply by 10 over 5. So we can have easy calculation by subtracting minus 0.5 over 0.2 multiply by 2. Okay. So by subtract and dividing 0.5 divided by 0.2 multiply by 2, that is 5 minus 5. अब इसको भी उसी तरह से ही हम लोगों ने एक्सप्लेन करना है. That E is minus 5. Here again minus is sign of inverse relationship. and we can ignore it by absolute value, that would be 5, and by comparing with 1 it is relatively elastic, means percentage change in quantity demand with price. So it is all about the elasticity, price elasticity of demand. Today we have done what? We have started with the concept of elasticity of demand, then we move to, elasticity of demand, degrees of elasticity of demand, then kinds of elasticity of demand, then measurement of elasticity of demand. और measurement के अंदर just हमने elasticity measurement of elasticity demand के अंदर just हमने price elasticity demand को पढ़ा, उसके अंदर हमने point and R का formula पढ़ा. Now we can go on book. Now we can open the pages. Yes. Exactly. From here. ये अभी हमने डिस्कस करना है, बाद में ये बाद में डिस्कस करेंगे. Yes, these are in fact elasticity refers to the sensitive demand to price change. ये important line है. Elasticity refers to the sensitivity of demand to price change. Like हमने क्या कहा था? Price. Okay. So this is what in fact the sensitivity of the demand change due to change in its price. तो price के change से जो demand में change आता है वो elasticity. और elastic demand भी हो सकता है और inelastic भी. अभी हमने जो डिस्कस किया था, ये देखें, इसमें क्या कहा हमने कि आपका ये मोर सेंसिटिव है तो इलास्टिक होगा. ये अगर ये मोर सेंसिटिव है तो इलास्टिक है, और अगर लेस सेंसिटिव है, लाइक इसमें लेस सेंसिटिव था तो ये लेस इलास्टिक. ओके, इट इज ऑल अबाउट द इलास्टिसिटी. देन परफेक्टली इलास्टिक, 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 यूनिलास्टिक, इनलास्टिक एंड परफेक्टली. ये हमने डिग्रीज ऑफ इलास्टिसिटी या कैटेगरीज ऑफ इलास्टिसिटी पढ़ा. स्मॉलेस्ट प्राइस राइजेस विल स्क्रीन डिमांड. यहां पे वो कहता है कि वैल्यू between 1 and infinity, right? More than 1 means then and then ये वो 5 डिग्रीज हैं जो हमने स्टार्ट में डिस्कस की. ये मेथड कल पढ़ेंगे. ये द परसेंटेज परसेंट प्राइस, न्यू डिमांड माइनस ओल्ड डिमांड, Q2 minus Q1, and average. Then P2 minus P1 and average. Right? और ये फॉर्मूला है इसके डिवीजन है, ये आर्क और यहाँ तक बस. This is all about the session of the day in which we have done a lot with elasticity of demand. Tomorrow inshallah while join we will see that what happened with income elasticity of demand, then we'll see the cross price elasticity of demand. After that we have to go for the expenditure approach and the determinant. It will take few days inshallah. Okay my dears, इसको आप prepare करें, इसको आप learn करें, understand करें. Inshallah we will launch some test by Monday. Okay, thank you very much.